What does SJSU mean to me? What a loaded question. It's like when someone asks you to answer, what is the meaning of life? The question is vague, you're not ready to answer right away, and no two people will ever have the same response. Let's define me relevant to the question. I grew up in Union City. I'm a 26-year-old transfer student from Chabot College in Hayward, an economics major entering my senior year, a Marine sergeant with 8 years of service including one deployment to Iraq. I am of mixed heritage, Caucasian and Filipino, and my parents had some higher education but never graduated college. What SJSU means to me depends on how I choose to spend my last 2 years of college. However I choose to spend this time will have a lasting impact on the course of my life. When I first began to think about my answer, several key things come to mind on how I feel about SJSU. It was not my first choice. I am here to finish my degree. A degree is a piece of paper that gets you a job. Where you get your degree matters. The job goes to who went to the more renowned university. Naturally, I prefer a degree from a renowned university. SJSU was not my second, third, nor fourth choice of school for which to transfer. Though I had high hopes for my top choices, UC Berkeley, Stanford, UCLA, and UC Davis were not among the cards dealt in my hand. I had my sights set on UC Berkeley. I tried to get into Cal for 2 years. Waiting any longer to get my degree was not an option, so I went with my backups. SJSU marketed to me the best as a transfer student with an economics major. Dr. Ortega, chair of the SJSU Econ department, reached out to all econ majors. The idea of graduating at SJSU was starting to grow on me. I'm just here to get my piece of paper, or my degree. My time spent in the Marine Corps is what makes college an option, and I exchanged those experiences for the college experience. I just need to get my degree. At this point, SJSU does not mean anything special to me. Yes, this is a bad attitude to have about SJSU, but having a bad attitude is like having a flat tire. You're not going anywhere unless you change it. I'm choosing to fix it. What comes after SJSU? Thinking about after graduation, I wanted to have options going into the workforce. I still do not know exactly what I want to do after college. I chose economics because I am genuinely interested. It also happens to be widely applicable and readily employable. Still, not knowing what comes after graduation is a scary feeling. But after attending a year at SJSU, I'm now more trusting that I'll be guided in the right direction with a good set of tools and resources. SJSU will help me figure out what comes next, and that has significant meaning to me. SJSU is comprised of a wide spectrum of buildings varying in quality from good to bad. The worst on my list is Dudley Moorhead Hall. This building has no air conditioning unless you count the heaters that blow year-round. When it's hot, which is always because it's San Jose, the windows stay open. This slightly relieves sweaty armpits, but the traffic and miscellaneous street noises distract the entire class. To make matters worse, every single one of my econ classes takes place in this wretched building. Most are on the top floor. Let's not forget that heat rises. The weight room is my haven and helps me keep my sanity. With a background in CrossFit and Olympic weightlifting, a conventional gym does not do it for me. Fortunately, the Spartan Sport Club offered a small oasis in the form of a lifting platform and bumper weights. It may not seem like much, but this means a lot to me. Recently, SJSU was becoming a buzzword in the news, and then the emails followed. Student-on-student racial hate crimes in the dorms? Unbelievable. SJSU has a rich mixture of different cultures, but no university is perfect. I feel this whole ordeal is just an awful fluke. SJSU has a long history of diversity. We're reminded by all the art scattered across campus, every time we walk by the Tommy Smith and John Carlos Monument, whenever we see the Dr. Martin Luther King Jr. Library. I'm proud to be a student at a school that celebrates great courage in the face of immense adversity. SJSU's motto is Powering Silicon Valley. Silicon Valley firms employ more graduates from SJSU than any other university in the nation. This fact alone makes SJSU an enormous stepping stone for students entering the workforce. Being a SJSU alumnus changes the course of people's lineage for the better. Not only are students given more opportunities while obtaining their degree, graduates can make opportunities as leaders in the community. The dream job does not come hand in hand with any degree, but a degree opens doors and empowers us to change our future for the better. The meaning of SJSU to me is what I choose to make of it. What I make of it depends on my attitude and how I spend my last years in college. I choose to focus on the positive side of being a SJSU Spartan, celebrating the diversity and affirmation for civil rights. I could choose to cruise by in mediocrity just to get my piece of paper, or I can choose to establish meaningful connections that influence the rest of my life. I choose to learn from my mistakes during my first year at SJSU and make the best out of my last year. Choice is a large part of what SJSU means to me. The concept of choice and its ripple effect applies to all SJSU students, faculty, and staff. I choose to seize the opportunity now at SJSU to make meaningful connections that will positively change the course of my life and generations to come.